Nerine is an award-winning author and editor of young adult and adult fantasy and science fiction, and currently residing in Cape Town, South Africa. Go ahead, Nerine.
Cool. Thank you very, very much for having me today. I seem to be like the lone South African here. Anyway, this is my novel, Sing Down the Stars. It was a big game changer for me. Sci-fi and fantasy isn't very big in South Africa, so to get this novel winning an award, and it's actually just won yet another award. It's won the Percy Fitzpatrick Award for Youth Literature in South Africa, which is a pretty big deal. So yeah, hopefully now that it's all post-pandemic, things are opening up, I can start actually attending events in person. So I shall begin at chapter 1. You have 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops. Trembling, Jiren's tentacle limb spread across the white paint. His skin had become so dark he was nearly invisible in the gloom but for the red input port at his temple that was flashing in time with the connection in the wall. Nuri swallowed back her fear. What her partner was doing couldn't be easy, and she didn't envy the Javeth drone this evening. Despite this being their 5th job as a pair, she was still a bundle of nerves. "Got it," she whispered, scanning the garden below. Her packmate would keep the property's AI busy with whatever program he was inputting, but it was up to Nuri to watch for any patrolling bots or biosentries. All was peaceful, with only the quiet hiss of sprinklers deep in the tangle of vegetation. What a huge garden! This Fadil Tien guy was loaded if he could afford all this real estate so close to Callan City urban zones. Those were real plants and trees, not clever synth copies. The air smelt green with life. Ancestors, this was far enough from the city centre, all its lights and billboard, that Nuri could even see faint stars through the haze. Tiny pinpricks, to be fair, and the vaguest suggestion of the galaxy's arm, but real stars, not just a projection in a public area. "Focus, Nuri," she murmured to herself as she dropped from the roof onto the bone-white foul marble tiles of the floor below. This was the top terrace of the residence, and thanks to Karen, all the cameras would be looping. The security bot was on the other side of the structure 2 floors down, and only due back up here in 15 minutes. Large blackened glass walls reflected her shape as she crept along. According to the plans, this was the master bedroom. Fadil would only return from his function at approximately 1 a.m., and there was no other biolife forms inside the property. Any staff had gone home hours ago. Around the corner she sneaked, to the sliding door. "Come on, Garen," she mouthed. On cue, the door sighed open on its tracks, just wide enough for her to slip in before it hissed shut behind her. She was in a lounge area, decked out in warm creams, featuring enormous rectangular couches. The plush carpeting beneath the soles of her grip boots was a thick, shaggy pile like the pelt of the snow wild she'd seen in the botanical gardens. Even better, it muffled her steps beautifully. She breathed deeply. The warm air smelt sweet and clean, like vanilla. What must it be like to live here? A screen took up an entire wall. This Fadil guy could lie here and watch through this window into other worlds. Nuri couldn't help but feel a stab of envy. The current image was of a ringed gas giant with many moons, most certainly not anywhere within Nuri's native Ariad system. Cerulean and violet clouds swirled on its surface, but that wasn't what caught her attention. A star jumper hove into view from the right-hand side of the screen. Although Nuri had seen footage of the giant's sentience many times, she had never seen one seemingly so close and on such a crisp screen. The thing cruised slowly, a leviathan of the stars. This one's head boasted a lance that stretched nearly half again its length, like the swordfish at the aquarium, except that its eyes were blacker than black. Even viewed on the screen, they absorbed every trace of light. Silent and mesmerizing, its fins spread wide, the being moved until it vanished on the left of the screen, trailing faint coruscations of green light in its wake. Nuri's heart twisted. What must it be like to travel between the stars at the speed of thought? "How are you doing?" Garen's voice buzzed in her comm unit. Nuri jerked, mentally cursing herself for getting distracted. "I'm in the lounge?" She kept her voice low. "Shake your twigs! This AI doesn't have the dumbs, and I'm not sure how long I can keep it distracted with buffer attacks." Nuri moved along. According to the plans, the doorway to her left opened into a library, an actual, ancestors-blessed library. The room didn't disappoint either, and it was difficult for her not to pause to take it in, despite the crawly fear that she was wasting time. It was like the Mirabelin Museum, but on a much smaller scale. Not just books, but artifacts too, little statues on plinths, masks, pictures, so many pictures. The tall, dark-skinned human with the shaved head who featured prominently must be Fadil. He had a serious-eyed girl with him in many of the images, her skin tone slightly lighter than his. He must be her father. The same tilt to the eyebrows. Here they were on a boat, blue sky, azure water, there riding astride a strange beast with grey fur. The little girl's eyes were wide, and her laugh was captured in that instant. The screens in their heavy wooden frames cycled through the more visuals. Sometimes a gold-skinned woman with a heart-shaped face was with them. She wasn't any kind of human Nuri had ever seen before. The little girl must be their daughter, her facial features somewhere between the mother and the father, and her dark brown hair hanging in tight curls on her shoulders. Sometimes she wore a bright bandana, other times elaborate braids. Nuri swallowed back a feeling that hadn't softened in a long, long time. Envy. This girl in the pictures, always laughing, with both parents. She looked about Nuri's age, 12, maybe 13. "Nuri!" Garen sounded tense. "On it!" Nuri hurried to the desk. This evening wasn't going exactly according to plan. Fadil's workspace featured a massive desk carved from what must have once been an entire tree trunk. The wood was stained dark, and surface gleamed slick beneath the dim spotlights. The safe was, as she'd been briefed, hidden in a side panel. The door snicked open when she depressed a knot in the wood, in the top right-hand corner. It wasn't the largest safe she'd ever broken into, but the items of interest were small and rare. "Thank you, Garen, for your hacking smarts." 5 velvet-covered boxes with rounded lids. Plush blue velvet she ached to stroke and hold up against her skin. Nuri checked the contents, ignoring the fire opal and the 2 uncut rubies the size of Qualu eggs, until she opened the case that contained the dragon pin. It was a priceless treasure from before the days of human space travel, her boss Vardith had said. The silver pin had been shaped to look like a creature from the old Terran myths, a dragon with a wedge-shaped head and a sinuous body curling around the pin. It had garnets for eyes, and they glinted back at her. And I'll stop there. Thank you very much.